Hi, welcome to another Tech Hour session. My name is Lena, I'm a Creatio Academy trainer, and in today's session we are going to talk about one of the topics that came up in multiple trainings and I think in multiple questions in general that we got from our customers and partners, and that's basically how to manage or basically how to utilize multiple emails if you're working with marketing Creatio. As you probably know, and again, this Tech Hour session implies that you have basic knowledge of marketing functionality. That in marketing Creatio, the way we send emails is we send to one email to a contact. So often enough, you will be in a situation when one contact has multiple emails, and you probably want to think of a way to make use of those multiple emails for that contact. Perhaps they would prefer to use one email for more work-related communication and others for more personalized messages. Whatever the case might be, there is actually a way to do that. It would include actually building a new section and using that section for the purpose of then bulk emails or campaigns. So let's take a closer look at what we have today. In preparation for this Tech Hour, I have pre-built the section. I also built a couple of additional business processes to show you how seamlessly this could work. But we will not be building this during the session. However, I'll show you some of the ideas that I incorporated. So this is something that anybody with background in building processes, building sections in Creatio would be able to replicate, and I'm sure even improved on the idea. So let's get started. So the first thing is let's go into the section that I have built, and the section is called subscribers. So in order to work with multiple emails for one contact, we actually have to have a separate object. Later on, I'll show you how that is being utilized in basically bulk emails and campaigns. But yes, you do have to have something separate which will be used to email, which will be used by Creatio to email. Because if you remember from the start in bulk emails, if you have, you can only use one email from a contact. So in order to basically unravel and utilize multiple emails, what you will need to do is create a separate section. So what I have done is create a section called subscribers. Let me quickly manually create a subscriber here, but I will show you later how to do this with the help of landing pages, with other logic you can add to it, and so on. So for example, we assume that we have some sort of subscriber that is coming either from a landing page, maybe from another email campaign, or maybe from some Google Forms. Your sources are not actually limited to just manually entering records into Creatio, so you will be able to automate this, and I'll show you the executed approach in just a second. So what I'm going to do, I'm just gonna enter information Alex Smith. Let's enter the email Alex Smith at here. And what I have created, which essentially runs in the background, is when a new subscriber is created, Creatio will either search for an existing contact, or that it searches actually by two criteria. First, it searches by this email. If there's already an email like that in a database, it will find the contact related to that. If not, it searches by name. If it finds the person with that first name and last name, then it matches to the existing contact. I haven't built a very complex logic. For example, when a situation where a person uses a slightly different version of their first name, we all had that situation, I'm sure. Either way, let me show you what happens. Oh, let's enter here. Okay, so the name part, Alex Smith. As you can see, a contact was created, and Alex Smith now has this email in the system for him, and so later this will be my subscriber. Now, let's say that we are in a situation where you already have a person in your database. Let's grab somebody from the contact section, and let's say that they are signing up using a landing page. So for the purpose of this session, I have pre-built a landing page using our integration with Landingy. It's a very simple page. The main focus here is on this sign-up form, first name, last name, email. I've also added a couple of checkboxes, and so the purpose of the checkboxes is to show you that you can use this opportunity with subscriptions, basically with subscribers, to also gather maybe additional opt-ins to certain activities. So in many industries, you don't only have to basically subscribe or opt in for receiving emails in general. You also have to say which data you are willing to share, or basically to get processed, what you're willing to participate in, right, to which emails you want to receive. Now, from the standpoint of Creatio, these are just checkboxes. These are not influencing what Creatio in the backend will be able to send, because you remember there is this do not send email checkbox, which is critical. If you have unsubscribed by default, no matter what you put in the checkboxes, the person will not be receiving emails. However, this can be one of the things that you are utilizing in order to know your audience and segment your audience based on the preferences of what they decided that they want to receive from you, from your company. So let's say that on this form I'm going to be mentioning whether I want to receive promotional emails, event maybe invitation, news digest, and so on. I'm not going to go into too much specifics in terms of this setup here. We have a separate video for webhooks, where we go over this integration in more detail. I'm just going to show you quickly that here it's integration with Creatio. It is already built in. Sorry, let's do this one more time. Creatio, and request URL, API key, the token you can get from your environment, and again, more details in the webhooks video, because this is what we are utilizing, that specific method of receiving data from the page. We're sending this to object USR subscribers. So it's a custom object, so I on purpose left the prefix as is, subscribers. So you would have to expand the list of objects that are available for this in order to make this integration work. It's called webhook entities. And once you have mapped all the fields on the landing page, I am able to fill out this page. Let me actually start from scratch. And different things will happen. If I'm going to use somebody who I already have in the system, as I said, it's going to search by email. If it's not going to find the email, it's going to search by name. If it's not going to find the name, it's going to create the person in the system. So let's take a closer look how it works within. So I'm going to use, for example, let's do Bruce Clayton, and we're going to use the existing Bruce. Oh, I do have it as a separate line. Clayton. Let's grab his email. Okay, and let's say Bruce wants to receive everything, all the emails. Sign up. Okay, thank you, page. Now, what happens in Creatio? First thing is a webhook is received. Let's search by status. Oh, okay, there's already one. The Bruce Clayton was processed already. Perfect. So, what has happened? If I go into the subscribers section, you will see that now I have a Bruce Clayton with all the check marks, and I have successfully linked it to existing Bruce Clayton contact, right? So I'm trying to avoid creating duplicates. So for Bruce Clayton, if we use subscribers as our audience source for campaigns or bulk emails, not much changes. But let's imagine that Bruce signs up with a different email using the same landing page. So same Bruce, but let's say that's a different email. Bruce and maybe I just want the promo emails here. In the webhooks, as you can see, here's the new webhook that came in. Again, there will be more information on the webhooks in a separate video. It takes a minute for the system to process. Previously, the process executed pretty much on the mark. Now we probably need to wait a minute for this to trigger. The process re-triggers every minute. And once the status changes to done, we will see a record in the subscribers section. Okay, let's wait. Okay, status is done. So let's go to the subscribers section. As you will see, I do have now a second entry for Bruce. This is the promo email checkmark, so you do see that it's a separate checkmark. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Now, Bruce, if I click on the contact, what has happened? Bruce has gained a second email. So I've designed a process, and I'll quickly show you what it looks like for Bruce to get that email also included in the contact. So this way you are creating an entity that will allow you to match an email basically to a contact, and also identify maybe specific subscriptions that this person is interested in. You can use this for other things as well, maybe some additional information on the particular subscription, when the person subscribed, and so on. However, let me quickly show you how this looks like in my application hub. As I said, my process probably could use some additional logic to ensure that we're not getting any duplicates, or we're not creating duplicates. So I've also experimented with the submitted form, so we'll talk about that a little bit later, why submitted form could work, because it already has a pre-built process. However, because it's the way the submitted form is built, there is some already pre-built logic that did not work perfectly for my subscribers processes and what I wanted to do, so I decided not to use it. But the search for basically for an existing contact is already there, so you can utilize it. Let's go into the business processes. Search for existing contact. It's actually fairly simple. Again, I think the submitted form process is a lot more complicated. Let me zoom out a little bit. But basically, let's look in. A subscriber is added. I'm reading the subscriber. Right? I'm reading the subscriber, email, first name, last name. First, I try to find the contact by email. Looking for contact by email, keep in mind that you already might have contacts that have multiple emails. And so if you search through the contact section, you will not see all emails listed for a contact. So here, the better solution would be to search through what is called contact communication option. And that's the table in the database that holds all communication options for the contact. The thing that you might not really guess is the field that holds all values for phones, for emails, for social media, and so on is actually called number. Yes, it took, I would never guess this myself. However, when I opened the object and looked at the way it was structured, that's the field name of what holds all the values. And I'll show you how you can find this out. and type email. So like in case I have this email listed as something else, maybe I will not be looking for it. So I'm using this logic of calculating number of records. Do I have anybody with this email already in the system? If there is no email in the database, I perform the second search. If there is an email, I read the contact and update the subscriber by email, which means I don't need to add the email into the contact, so there's less steps, right? If there is no email in the database, I make an attempt to search for the contact using last name and first name. Again, here I use the combo, assuming that the person will enter their first last name more or less in the same manner. But as I said, it's not a perfect logic. If somebody sometimes goes by Alexander and sometimes by Alex, well, Alexander Alex is more or less okay. Those names that get basically a shorter version of the name might be very different from the longer, like the full version. That's where there might be a lot of problems. Maybe like Charles and Chuck, they don't really, it's not like a smaller proportion of longer word, Alex and Alexander. So I use the contains just in case there's maybe like an Alex Alexander. I think that covers a little bit more ground. So but again, as I said, this might be not the best way. You might find a different logic that you would like to use. So again, we're calculating number of records. We didn't find the contact. We're adding the contact, updating the subscriber, and putting that link in the contact field. If we found the contact, we're reading the contact. To update, to truly add a second email, I need to add the record into contact communication option, one record, contact, field the number, type email, and update subscriber. So very simple. What you can do, again, this is fairly intuitive if you have used Creatio for any length of time. Now, what is maybe less intuitive, or maybe again, what made you join our stream and why you're interested in the topic? How to add multiple of these emails for one person. Again, as you can see at this point, I have myself twice with different emails. I have Alexander Wilson once, I have Bruce twice, and so on. So what we're going to use is a new object for bulk emails, and obviously the same logic can apply to where's my email section? Oh, here it is. The same logic can apply to campaigns. So, for example, if I'm going to create a new bulk email, new news digest, and I'm going to add the audience. Again, today we're not talking too much about the designer and so on. So, audience source, you have preset audience sources, right? You maybe you've noticed this, maybe you haven't noticed this. What you can do is also create an audience source for a new object, not just the ones that you have here. How do you do this? Let's go over these steps. Not every user will be able to do this, so you have to have admin privileges. So regular marketing people will not be able to do that. Regular marketers don't understand the logic that we'll have to enter here, and they probably don't have to understand this. So if you will be setting this up for the marketing team, you have to be a system admin or a user with additional privileges in order to achieve this outcome. Regular marketing users will not have access to this manage objects for audience import. So audience caption, that's what they will see. I'm going to call mine subscribers, but technically any name will do. It's just a text field. Entity object. In some of the previous versions, this was you had to enter this by code. Not anymore, so I can just search for subscribers. Here it is. Contact column path. As you can see, if I'm in the contact, there is no contact column path. That's the main object. If it's some other object, probably the column will be called contact or something similar. This is the object subscribers has to have path to contact column. And the email column can be inside of the object. So for example, I'm not looking into the contact for the email, for the primary email. I have my separate column. So here it is. But as you can see in some other instances, like so in the event participant, the path was to contact and to get their email. However, it doesn't have to be that way. Okay, once you click close, we go to the news digest, go to the audience, click on the plus sign. Here's our subscribers. Here is everyone who is in this section. Obviously, you can set up fields for display, so maybe not just their name. You can display other things like email, whether they signed up for event emails, and so on, right? So let's add the relevant columns. And the last one, promo and news. Okay, so all the columns are in. You can save this for other users again. So what you have is adding a filter. You have switched to advanced mode. So you're able to further filter your subscribers. Again, the logic is exactly as if you were filtering the subscribers in the subscriber section. As you can see, click on the plus sign, related objects, all of that can be used. So here nothing really changed too much, so you can select which ones you want to import. And the great thing is, as you can see, for Bruce or for Lena, I can import them twice, or technically I'm importing them as separate because they're separate records in the subscribers. In the contact, what would happen is it would only get one email, right? So any other emails that you had for this person would not be usable. The way the bulk audience work is bulk email audience works. It creates a copy in this bulk audience table with the contact name, email that everything will be sent to, and then you can send the email to the list of the emails that are here, instead of basically using only one for Bruce or only one for Lena. So this is how you add a new audience source into the bulk emails, the one that you have created, and from this point on, the person will be entered into the campaign from this audience source. Now, what we can do is do the same thing for the campaigns as well. So bulk emails are separate, campaigns are separate. Let me quickly show you that. If we go to campaigns, I'm going to create a new campaign. So I'm not going to build the full campaign again. This video is not for that, but I will show you some important things that you will need to take into consideration if working with campaigns, if you will want to expand the list of objects the campaigns are working with. So there's two, if we're talking about in terms of entities that the campaign can work with, you have the add audience and trigger adding. Both of them use the same list. Add participants when this object is added updated. Same for add audience. Added updated. Select an object entity that holds the campaign audience data. It's actually the same list for both of these elements, so let me show you how you can amend this list and how you can add more into this list. So to do that, we're going to go into the lookups. And the name of this object or this lookup is entity settings for campaign signal. Entity settings for campaign signal. As you can see, again, logic is very simple. The caption, entity, object, and path to contact. So it's a little bit different with campaigns. With campaigns, it's less about email. It's more about the path to contact. So keep this in mind. However, I can still use my subscribers, path to data, path to contact here, contact ID. So, and then if I return to my campaign, let's refresh. Let's reload these elements. And you will see that subscribers is one of the options now that I can choose from for my audience, and including for trigger adding. So record edit, record modified. Again, as you can probably guess, changing this list will involve somebody who has additional privileges in the system that can modify lookups, can go into the lookups section. So a regular marketing person is not going to be able to do that. Keep that in mind. So if you're watching this video and you are thinking, oh, okay, I can utilize this, as you can see, there needs to be some update to the system before you can use multiple emails. And even then, once the section is built, you will need to ensure that those additional audience sources have been added into the bulk emails and into campaigns as well. So for today's session, this is it. It's a shorter session because, again, it's not a very complicated idea. However, it allows us to resolve the conflict of having only or being able to use only one email. And so the introduction of the subscriber section will be very helpful in that regard, and you'll be able to send emails to multiple email addresses for the same person. We tried to answer your questions in the chat as well. My team was helping me during this time. Next week we're going to have another topic related to marketing. So another question that popped up basically during the training sessions. So if you have ideas for what you would like us to cover in the future Tech Hour sessions, we will appreciate your insights, your question. You can post them in the chat, or if you're watching this in recording, in the comments. So otherwise, from my side, this is it. Thank you for attending our Tech Hour session, and we will see you next week. Bye.